Hi! Very excited to see what's gonna be brought up in this interview.
Before the pageant itself, nagkaroon na ng controversy. Yung nag-walk out.
I'm sorry, but this competition is not about your personal issues. Diba? This was supposed to be a sashing ceremony. So I'm not gonna side with anyone, especially if I don't know the whole story.
Did you feel nung day na yon na I will be Miss Universe?
Oh, I believe that. Sabi ko, I think I did pretty good. Sabi ko, parang kaya ko mag-Miss Universe kasi okay yung performance ko based on my self-assessment.
When your name was mentioned as third runner-up,
I was sad kasi I was hoping to win.
yung pagiging beauty queen, hindi siya talaga yung original dream.
Madami akong dreams eh.
Oh.
Isa
So, babalikan natin. Ang mga dreams talaga ay...
Gusto kong maging police, gusto kong maging teacher, gusto kong maging cashier.
Pero, bakit napunta sa pagpa-pageant, pag-join ng mga beauty contest?
Kasi, nung 10 years old ako, una kong pageant ever. So, grade 5 ako nun. Yung teacher ko, parang tinanong niya kung gusto kong sumali ng pageant. School pageant siya eh.
Ah, yes. Mag-start yun sa school, di ba?
Yes.
Iba-iba yung mga contest sa school. May singing contest, dance competition, tapos may pageant sa school.
Yes.
Yung Enverga,
Enverga, tama.
dun nag-start. Tapos, nagustuhan mo na
Oo, kasi...
eventually. Tapos, wala na. Yun na yung naging dream.
Yun na yun.
Maging
Parang,
beauty queen.
after nun, kasi syempre, sinimulan ko na. So sabi ko, gusto kong marating yung Miss Universe. Kasi yun yung parang peak ng pageantry.
Kung babalikan mo yung childhood, ano yung mga core memories na hindi mo malilimutan?
Yung nagbebenta ako sa sari-sari store namin, pagbabantayin ako ng mommy ko. Parang halos lahat ng memory ko, humahanap ako ng opportunity para kumita ng pera at tulungan yung pamilya at sarili ko.
Namulat ka na dun sa realidad ng buhay na hindi madali, mahirap.
Totoo.
Pero sa Quezon, standout na yung beauty mo. Kasi yung daddy mo is...
Finish.
Yes. Paano yung relationship nyo ng mommy mo growing up na wala yung daddy mo?
I had stepfather growing up. So she remarried nang 5 years old ako. So, I think mahirap din sa kanya na nung first 5 years na growing up ako, wala siyang katuwang pagpapalaki sa akin. Pero my whole family, yung mga kapatid niya, yung nanay niya, talagang hands-on sa pagtulong rin sa pagpapalaki sa akin.
Di ba usually ganun yun? Lalabas at a certain point in your life yung desire na makilala yung tunay mong ama or mag-reconnect or kamustahin kung nasa na yung totoo mong tatay.
Naisip ko yun before, pero hindi siya yung gustong-gusto ko. Naisip ko lang na okay, nasan kaya siya? Or magkakakilala kaya kami? Pero hindi ko siya yung hinanap talaga na may ginawa ako about it. Kasi ang point ko nun, pero siguro may hinanakit ako na konti na yung point ko is, bakit ako yung maghahanap? Siya yung adult, di ba? Parang may ganun ako.
Paano naka-affect yun growing up na hindi naging present yung father mo when it comes to looking at men and relationship with men?
I think I have abandonment issues. Kasi you gotta think about it na parang iniisip mo, okay,
Daddy issue.
Yes, well, exactly. Kasi mahirap na yung responsibilidad nung tatay mo is to take care of nung anak mo, di ba? So iniisip ko na kung yung tatay ko nga hindi magawa yon, paano pa kaya yung ibang tao?
So 20 years old ka, pumunta ka ng Manila, nag-start ka ng journey mo into pageantry. Ang mahirap yun Diba yung mga starting years, struggling years of getting into pageantry, finding the right people who will support you.
Totoo.
Yung iba nakaka-experience sila ng they were used, diba?
Madaming horror stories na gano'n.
May horror stories ka when you were starting?
Ako, swerte ako na laging merong mga tao na nag-aalaga sa akin. Ako, I had camp back then kasi dati meron pang mga pageant camps. So, aces and queens ako.
Yes! Sino nga mga aces? Siya ba
Sila
sila Pia?
Mama J. Oo, sila Pia. Oo.
Catriona?
Kat was aces also. So, basically, they're a group of people na it's their passion to help beauty queens make it in the
Parang
national
i-mentor
stage.
kayo,
Yes.
tuturuan kayo,
Mm-mm.
i-groom kayo into
Mm-mm.
becoming a beauty queen. So, dun ka
Yes.
unang napasok.
Yes.
So, at least you're with the right people and
Mm-mm.
in good hands na talagang
Totoo.
tinrain ka, minentor ka,
Mm-mm.
even pag may makeup.
Lahat. Hair, makeup, walking, talking, sitting, everything.
Anong pinakamahirap sa training ng beauty queens?
Ako nahirapan
for
ako
you.
na generally mahaba yung oras kapag beauty queen ka. Parang magsisimula ka ng kailangan mo mag-ayos. So halimbawa, call time mo alas 6. Dapat alas 4 pa lang or alas 3 gising ka na kasi mag-hair and makeup ka. Tapos dire-diretso ka hanggang, well, for sure you know that, nag-artista ka. So hanggang after, minsan matatapos ka, gabi na, and then tulog ka ulit, ganun. So yun yung pinakamahirap sa akin, yung
And
haba
that was
ng oras.
training period pa lang.
Training period pa lang.
Training period, you're not paid with the training
No, you
period.
don't get paid.
So,
So, sugal talaga siya in a sense na hindi mo alam kung mananalo ka or hindi. So, pero gagastos ka, mag-i-invest ka ng oras.
So, paano mo i-describe yung journey when you got into Miss Universe? Na ikaw na yung... Kasi it started ng 2018, yung batch ni
Mm-mm.
Catriona.
Mm-mm.
Siya yung Miss Universe, ikaw ang Miss
Yes.
International.
Yes. That was my first international pageant and nakakatuwa siya kasi you're treated there na para kang prinsesa. VIP ka talaga. They bring you to the best hotels, mga restaurant, tapos yung mga tourist areas. Talagang they immerse you in the culture of Japan.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, unforgettable siya for me. And it's my favorite pageant experience kasi nga, first time, bata pa ako noon. Tapos first time kong makapunta sa ibang bansa. So parang everything is new.
Exciting lahat ng
Oo.
pangyayari.
Mm-mm.
Tapos 2024, you won Miss Cosmo?
I did, oo. Nag-Miss Universe ako. Tapos I got the Cosmo crown.
So, it happened 2025 for you. Ikaw ang
Mhm.
naging representative ng Philippines for Miss
Yes.
Universe. What was that feeling like representing the whole country?
Of course, nakakatuwa because it's something to be proud of that you're carrying the name of the Philippines on the international stage. But also a lot of pressure kasi ang daming nakatingin sa'yo, ang daming naghihintay kung anong gagawin mo, and in the pageant world, parang laging meron sasabihin yung mga tao kung anong gagawin mo.
At saka may winning streak ang Pilipinas. From Pia to Catriona. So, ang laki
Mm-mm.
ng expectations
Totoo.
ng mga
Mm-mm.
susunod na representative. Kasi parang, uy, sunod-sunod ang panalo ng
Mm-mm.
Philippines. So, parang
Always.
laging ina-expect pag may representative. Dapat makapasok sa top 10.
Totoo.
5,
Mm-mm.
top 3, di ba?
The pressure's there talaga.
Grabe yung pressure. Before the pageant itself, nagkaroon na ng controversy. Yung nag-walk out, lahat ng mga girls.
Oo, may ganun.
Dahil na-disrespect si Miss Mexico.
Oo, may ganun.
And she stood up for herself, di
Mm-hmm.
ba? Yun yung first parang controversy leading to the pageant.
Totoo.
You were there mismo nung
Yeah.
nangyari yun.
Mm-mm.
Ano talaga yung nangyari nung situation na yun?
You know, that day, sashing ceremony namin dapat yon. So, ibibigay sa amin yung sash, tapos mag-introduce ka ng sarili mo, pakilala ka. Exciting day yon, parang happy day dapat siya. Pero, nung naghihintay na kaming lahat, waiting kami, standby kami to roll yung cameras and magsimula yung event mismo, parang dumating si Mr. Nawat. Mr. Nawat is, I think, the head committee of Thailand team as the host country. Sinabi niya na bakit merong mga girls na hindi nagpa-participate or hindi sumusunod sa rules ng organization.
Which is?
You have to promote sponsors. So, kapag may pupuntahan kaming lugar, you have to post about it. Kapag may ibibigay sa aming gamit, you have to post about it also. Because, understandably, the pageant wouldn't happen without the sponsors. And then, tinanong niya, parang, okay, sino yung 20 girls na hindi nagpo-post? Yung hindi sumusunod, yung mga pasaway, parang gumanon siya. Walang tumataas ng kamay. Kasi ilang beses niya tinanong. Parang, kasi ikaw naman, syempre, di ka rin magtataas ng kamay na.
Walang aamin.
Oo.
Walang aminanto. Tayo na lang.
20 girls daw. So, wala talaga. Pang 5 beses niya tinanong. Siguro, napuno na rin siya. Nag-ano siya ngayon. Sabi niya, ikaw, pinpoint niya si Miss Mexico. Doon niya sinabi na, ikaw, Miss Mexico, why are you not following our rules? Doon na nagsimula yung bickering nila. Doon na sila nagsimulang magsagutan. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's, like, hindi namin alam kung anong gagawin namin. Kasi parang lahat, ano nangyayari?
kasi nagsasagutan na.
Oo, ano nangyayari?
So most of the girls were confused and
Yeah.
parang, oh no, ano next na mangyayari? Then when did the walkout happen?
When Mr. Nawat called the security. So kaming lahat, parang, okay, that's too much naman.
Nagpapakall siya ng security for Miss Mexico to be escorted out dahil sagot ng sagot si Miss Mexico. But during that time, kung maalala mo, ano ba yung sinasabi niya? What was she trying to point out?
I think she was saying na hindi naman niya dinidisrespect. Yun naman yung point niya. Na parang it's not about disrespecting them.
And then, wala na, nagtuloy-tuloy na.
And then that's when she walked out.
Were you part of the girls who walked out?
No.
So, it's not all of the girls who walked out?
No. There was maybe siguro 20 of them. Most of them, the ones that are seated in front.
Ikaw, you didn't walk out because?
For me, I didn't walk out because first of all, there seemed to be an underlying issue. Hindi naman ako magsaside to anyone because of anything. Hindi naman kami aware kung ano yung totoong issue eh. I'm sorry, but this competition is not about your personal issues. Diba? This was supposed to be a sashing ceremony. So I'm not gonna side with anyone, especially if I don't know the whole story.
Okay, so let's talk about the night of the pageant. Kamusta yung night na yun?
When I was competing, all throughout, I had a firm sense of self naman that, okay, I'm doing pretty well. And I think I'm presenting myself really good. So, I think if the judges would be fair, and if the judges have the same eyes as I do, I will make it to yung mga first cut, ganyan, top 30, top ganito, top 10. Because I judge pageants also. So parang ako, okay, I know na kung ano yung hinahanap. I know how to project yourself on stage best na to seem stand out, ganon.
Did you feel nung day na yon na I will be Miss Universe?
Oh, I believe that. You have to.
So where do you think you get your confidence from once you walk out on stage?
I think paniniwala mo lang sa sarili mo. Like knowing na okay, sa lahat ng pinagdaanan ko sa buhay, I'm sure hindi ito yung pinakamahirap, may mas mahirap akong pinagdaanan. So, ito ang gagawin ko dito, compared sa lahat ng pinagdaanan ko, wala to.
Nung nag-top 10, syempre nagsisigawan ng mga Pilipino, top 10! Top 5, sigawan na, ito na yun! And then, the announcement. What was that feeling like, anticipating yung announcement ng third, ng second, ng Miss Universe?
Ako, I was at peace already. Kasi alam ko na ginawa ko na everything I could do. And at that point, hindi na sa akin decision yun eh. Hindi ko na control yun. So, ang sa akin, basta ginawa ko lahat ng kaya ko dun sa mga kaya kong kontrolin, okay na ako dun. I was at peace with whatever was gonna happen. Pero of course, ang hope ko, sabi ko, I think I did pretty good. Sabi ko, parang kaya ko mag-Miss Universe kasi okay yung performance ko based on my self-assessment. So sabi ko, okay. Pero nung tinawag na si fourth runner-up na Kotebo, kasi sa isip ko siya yung
Miss Universe.
Siya yung magiging ano ko eh. Sabi ko, pwedeng siya or ako. Ganun pa. Siya.
Kayo yung
may ganun ako, may self-assessment ako. Tinawag siya. Sabi ko, okay. Nung una medyo na ano ako, parang, baka wala akong kalaban. Pero naisip ko, bakit ganon? Parang medyo hindi siya according to dun sa naisip ko. So,
for you, ang Miss Universe mo was, if not you, siya dapat.
That's what's in my head.
If I'm not gonna win, if you're the judge.
If I was the judge, me or, syempre, ako yung bida. Ano ko to eh. Isip
ako
ko to.
Miss Universe, pero kung hindi ako magiging Miss Universe, pwedeng siya.
Ganun yung naisip ko.
Kasi based yan on assessing dun sa performance ng lahat, diba?
What I could see. But what I could see was very limited also.
Yes. So, nung tinawag siya na fourth, and then here comes the third runner-up.
Wala, hindi na ako nakapag-isip ng matagal kasi mabilis tinawag na ako eh.
When your name was mentioned as third runner-up, ano na yung internal emotion and what was happening?
I was, initial reaction ko, I was sad. Kasi I was hoping to win. But after nun, I was like, okay, life moves on. Ganun lang naman eh.
And then the second was mentioned. And then Miss Universe was mentioned. But that was a mixed reaction. Even dun sa arena.
Alam mo, surprisingly, sabi nila maingay daw. It wasn't an arena eh. It was like a convention center. So, elevated yung stage. Siguro 6 feet up kami. Tapos, the audience were sa baba. So, kahit sabi ng mga audience, yung mga friends ko, family ko, sobrang ingay daw. But sa taas, wala ka naririnig masyado.
Hindi nyo naririnig yung reaction ng mga tao
No.
nung in-announce na siya yung Miss Universe.
Even all throughout, kapag naglalakad ka, hindi mo maririnig masyado. Ang maririnig mo yung speaker, yung music, pero hindi yung reaction ng audience. Which I think helped a little bit also in performing.
So when she was announced Miss Universe, hindi nyo alam yung mixed reaction ng crowd on stage?
Well, you couldn't hear it. But of course, you could observe.
May point ba na nag-sink in yung buong 18 years na journey mo led to this? Na napaiyak ka, like, okay, so this is the whole 18 years that I've prepared for in my life.
Ako, hindi ako napaiyak. I keep that thought in mind all throughout the competition. Na nung prelims na, nung national costume, na iniisip ko, okay, last ko na to. So I was happy kasi I wanted to give...
in your head, yun na?
Oo.
This is my final walk.
Yes. So I was making sure that I was enjoying it, that I was giving it my all. Kasi closing chapter siya nung pageant journey ko.
Di ba pag closing chapter and when it's the final stretch, maraming realization.
Oo.
So kailan yun sa'yo nag-sink in na, oh wow, so this is it. This was the journey pala.
Hindi siya yung one time fully nag-sink in. Parang I get reminded of it every once in a while. Na okay, last ko na to. So, ang nangyayari, every time na may ganon, I just give it like my all. I just give it my best. So, parang ang ginagawa ko, yung magiging performance ko is, yun yung alay ko dun sa 18 years na yun.
Na pinagtrabahuhan mo.
Walang tears in general dun sa journey.
Dahil?
Ewan ko. Pero iyakin ako so hindi ko rin alam.
O baka sobra mo ng strong.
Happy ako dun sa lahat ng nangyari na yun.
Actually, totoo yan. When you have given your best and you're 100% at something, you will look back at it and wala kang regrets. Wala kang iiyakan pag alam mo, binigay ko na yung buong buhay ko dito, dugot, pawis, lahat nilaan ko dito. So,
literal na dugot, pawis.
Yeah, whatever happens, you know that you gave it your all, you gave it your best. In the hearts of Filipinos, you are our Miss Universe because of how you presented yourself, how you represented the country. So, yun ang sineselebrate ng Philippines. Hindi man nakuha ng Pilipinas yung title, but in our hearts, you are our Miss Universe 2025. Does it hurt when people say na sayang?
Ako, more than nakakalungkot, nakakatuwa siya na kahit hindi ako yung nanalo, sa mata ng maraming tao, panalo ako para sa kanila.
Pinapakamusta nila yung love life mo. Ayan na sila.
Ayan na.
Ayan na sila sa mga love life nila.
Ba't po may ganon?
Atisa yung love life. Yun na yung gusto nilang next chapter. Ano daw ba ang love life?
Ano naman? Very loving yung love life ko.
Kamusta ang heart condition ni Atisa?
Very good.
Inspired? In love?
Yes.
Happy?
All of the above.
All of the above! Okay, so tatapusin natin yan with picking a card. Parang pang Miss Universe to.
Ano, isa lang?
Yeah, just one card.
Ano to question?
Yeah, yung Tony Talks card namin.
Ay, ang galing. Ikaw
Yes,
sorry.
so ako magtatanong.
Akala ko ikaw
Okay.
tatanungin.
Hindi naman pang Miss Universe ang tanong.
Okay.
Life questions lang. Ay, ang ganda nito, bagay sa'yo. The question is, what part of your story are you learning to love?
Itong question na to, alam mo, I had to figure this out bago ulit ako sumali ng Miss Universe this year. Kasi meron akong parts ng sarili ko na parang nahihiya ako dati. Na hindi ako willing i-open up. Like, hindi ko sinasabi sa tao that I come from a poor background kasi nahihiya ako. Without knowing na that's the thing that makes a lot of who I am today. Yung part na lumaban ako from that point of being poor to making sure that I put my brother, my sister, and myself in school and making sure na I give my family a better life. Yun yung part na embarrassed ako before, pero yun yung part na pinag-aaralan kong mahalin because it's part of me also.
So in summary, what part of your story are you learning to love? That I came from a poor family. And I rose above it. Inspiring.
Ang ganda naman ng pinaganda mo naman ng sayo.
And that is why you are our Miss Universe. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Miss
Atisa.
Tony.
Thank you for sharing your story, and we're excited sa next chapter ng life mo. In celebration of our 5th year anniversary, 5 lucky Tony Talks viewers will each take home an iPhone 17! Make sure nakafollow kayo sa aming social media pages for updates on how to join.